There is a hill in southern Iran where the wind still moves through broken stone columns. Locals call it Takhti Jamshid, the throne of Jamshid. The world calls it Persepolis. 23 centuries ago, this was the ceremonial heart of the largest empire humanity had ever built. Kings from Egypt to India climbed these very steps to pay tribute. And then, in a single night of fire, it was gone. But Persepolis was never really the beginning. And its ashes were never really the end. This is the story of an idea that refused to die, an idea called Persia. An empire that rose, fell, rose again, and again, for 25 centuries. A civilization that gave the world its first declaration of human rights, its first global postal system, its greatest poets, and some of history's bloodiest conquests. This is the complete history of Persia, from a tribal confederation in the Iranian plateau, to the empire that almost conquered the known world, to the nation that exists today. Around 700 BCE, on the dry plateau that is now Iran, a confederation of Indo-Iranian tribes known as the Persians lived as vassals, subjects of a more powerful neighbor, the Medes. For generations, the Persians paid tribute. They served in Median armies. They were, by every measure, a minor people on the edge of a much larger world dominated by Assyria, Babylon, and Egypt. Then, around 559 BCE, a young man inherited the small Persian throne of Ancient. His name was Cyrus. What Cyrus did next would not just free his people, it would rewrite the map of the ancient world. In 550 BCE, Cyrus rebelled against his own grandfather, the Median king Astyages, and won. The student had overthrown the master. The Medes and Persians, once master and vassal, were now one people under Cyrus's rule. He did not stop there. Cyrus turned west and conquered the fabulously wealthy kingdom of Lydia, capturing its legendary king, Croesus, a name that would become a byword for riches itself. Then came the prize that would define his legacy forever, Babylon. In 539 BCE, Cyrus's army entered Babylon by most accounts, without a single major battle. The city's own priests, resentful of their king, had turned against him. Cyrus walked in not as a destroyer, but as a liberator. And then he did something almost unheard of in the ancient world. He freed the Jewish people held captive in Babylon since Nebuchadnezzar's conquest, and allowed them to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple. He issued a clay cylinder now known as the Cyrus cylinder, declaring that the peoples of his empire could worship their own gods, speak their own languages, and govern their own customs. Historians still debate exactly how revolutionary this was. But the symbolism endured for 25 centuries. Some call it the first charter of human rights in history. By the time Cyrus died in 530 BCE, he ruled the largest empire the world had ever seen, stretching from the Aegean Sea to the borders of India. A tribal vassal state had become a superpower in one generation. He had built something unprecedented, an empire that didn't simply crush the cultures it conquered. It absorbed them. Cyrus built the empire. But it was his successors who turned it into a civilization. His son Cambyses added Egypt to Persian rule. But it was Darius I, who seized the throne in 522 BCE amid a succession crisis, who became the empire's true architect. Darius inherited a fragile, sprawling territory and turned it into the most sophisticated administrative system the ancient world had ever seen. He divided the empire into provinces called satrapies, each governed by a satrap, but watched constantly by royal inspectors the Greeks nicknamed the king's eyes and ears. He standardized currency, with the gold daric becoming a trusted coin from Egypt to the Indus Valley. And he built roads. The royal road stretched over 2,400 kilometers, from Susa to Sardis, allowing royal messengers on relay horses to cross in 7 days what would normally take 3 months on foot. Centuries later, Herodotus would marvel that neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor darkness stayed these couriers from their tasks, a line that would inspire postal services thousands of years later. At the empire's ceremonial heart, Darius began construction of Persepolis, not a capital for daily governance, but a stage. A monument to Persian power, built so that every spring, representatives from across the empire's 23 nations could arrive bearing gifts for the Persian New Year, Nowruz. Walk the surviving reliefs of Persepolis today and you'll see it carved in stone, Ethiopians bringing ivory, Indians bringing gold dust, Scythians bringing horses, Babylonians bringing cloth. It was empire as theater proof, in stone, that Persia ruled the known world. But Darius wanted more. He wanted Greece. In 490 BCE, Persian forces landed at Marathon to punish Athens for supporting a rebellion in Ionia. Outnumbered Athenian hoplites won a stunning victory, and a runner allegedly raced to Athens to deliver the news, the origin of the modern marathon. Darius died before he could avenge the defeat. That task fell to his son, Xerxes. In 480 BCE, Xerxes assembled what ancient sources claimed was a force of over 1 million men, almost certainly an exaggeration, but